All right, I got something fun for you guys. I mean, maybe this needs a content warning. I don't know which one it is. Holy shit, it's 14. I'll get through this. I needed to go ahead and play it so we get through it before we sign off from everything but Twitch. Here is Ben Shapiro and his Fibby Awards for 2022.
Welcome to the second annual Media Fibbies, a year-end review including awards for the dumbest, the worst, the cringiest, and the wokest moments from mainstream media 2022.
This should be
Host
fun.
This video is sponsored by Black Rifle Coffee.
Oh, fucking shit.
Today's first category.
Okay, here we go.
Most spin. Last year famously was Kelly Stavis, the Let's Go Brandon Award.
You can hear the chants from the crowd. Let's go, Brandon.
This year, the award goes to Karine Jean-Pierre. I mean, that's literally her job, is to pretend that Joe Biden is a sentient human being. But she's really, really bad at it. Every press secretary does a lot of spin, but Karine Jean-Pierre is officially the world's worst press secretary. We have many examples of Karine Jean-Pierre. Her job here is just one.
What is the latest update the White House has received on the current formula situation across the country?
Yeah, let me see if I have anything new for you on that. Okay. I don't have anything new. I know we made some announcements last week.
Our next category, biggest L. Who took the biggest L this year? Wow.
I mean, without all the music and sound effects and shit, there is nothing wrong with what she said. That was the most spin. That was the best you could come up with for the most spin award. Yes, Drake. That was pitiful. My God.
Incredibly close race between Will Smith, Ye West, and Amber Heard. Will Smith, because he just slapped Chris Rock on stage for no apparent reason. Oh, wow! And Amber Heard, because she actually lost a defamation suit against her ex-husband, Johnny Depp. But Ye West has to win this category because Will Smith, that dude will survive. His career will be okay eventually. Amber Heard, she never.
What was the award?
Ye West went from being worth about $2 billion.
I don't have anything new. I know.
Ye West and Amber Heard.
What was the award?
Our next category.
Biggest L.
Who took the biggest L this year? Wow. Incredibly close race between Will Smith, Ye West, and Amber Heard. Will Smith, because he just slapped.
Buddy, how do you not have Trump on this list? This was before Andrew Tate. Elon Musk was definitely a contender for biggest L this year. I'm sure I can think of the Uvalde Police Department. They took an L. Carrie Lake. She took an L. Man, like, you're really bad at this, Ben.
Chris Rock on stage for no apparent reason. Oh, wow! And Amber Heard, because she actually lost a defamation suit against her ex-husband, Johnny Depp.
She didn't technically lose.
Ye West has to win this category because Will Smith, that dude will survive. His career will be okay eventually. Amber Heard, she didn't have like a tremendous career in the first place. Ye West went from being worth about $2 billion to being worth maybe
Ye's a good choice too, I guess.
Standing for Hitler. It turns out that when you wear a black hood over your face while talking about how Hitler was a wonderful dude.
I see good things about Hitler also.
And carrying a small net and a Yoo-hoo bottle talking about Netanyahu.
What did you think about that, Netan? You are an insane person.
With Nick Fuentes.
I do a news show. Do. So I guess I should mention that Netanyahu is once again the Prime Minister of Israel. Mind-blowing.
Yeah, that is a bad look by Ye West. We're on to the next category, which is most lecherous leech. Ooh, like people who have glommed onto power and used it for their own power. Man, neck and neck race between Hunter Biden, who ran around picking up bags of cash using his daddy's name while snorting Parmesan cheese off the carpet, and Meghan Markle, whose job it was to be a suitcase lady.
Meghan, open the case.
And then she was on the hit series Suits, piece of Shakespearean art, and then parlayed that into being a princess and now spends her days manipulating her dim bulb husband into ripping on his family so she can get paid and pretend to be a woke warrior princess.
Wow, the hatred they have for this
Biden
woman.
Is bad, but Hunter Biden is preceded in his lecherousness and leechness by many other presidential family members. But Meghan Markle is truly
Well, I thought Hunter had this for sure. My God.
Pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty. Like, was that okay?
ripping on the Queen because you are too foolish to understand that there's actual pomp and circumstance.
I mean, I know nothing about
Queen of
Meghan
England,
Markle, but
and yet it's all about you and your
the
race
amount
and
of
everything.
hate they shovel her way, like, it can't possibly be warranted. James, good evening. The New Year's special Troll Patrol. Check out my New Year's graphics. Celebrating, we ringing in the new year.
Mean to you.
It's about hatred. It's about race.
We're
Well,
doing
you sit
the
there in
Ben
your
Shapiro
racial,
Fibbies.
multi-billion-dollar estate in Los Angeles, getting contracts from Netflix. Ugh, Meghan Markle. Ugh.
Ooh, that's it. That she got a contract from Netflix. Ben Shapiro is a failed Hollywood writer producer. He is a wannabe. That is the reason why he hates her.
Most likely to desecrate a historic artifact. Lizzo.
Oh my God. I knew it was gonna be Lizzo, that fucking flute. Who's in the running with Lizzo?
Lizzo, yes.
Oh, there's nobody else in the running?
She took James Madison's crystal flute and she played it very nicely in the Library of Congress, as I pointed out. And it was delightful. She played some classical music on the flute. And that was fine, because cool. And then she went to a concert and she twerked with it. And it was really...
And then the library, that's not even really twerking. That's just kind of like shaking your knees. But she does say that she twerked with it. As I pointed out when we did this story, they brought her the fucking flute. The Library of Congress were the ones that asked her if she would like to play that fucking flute at her concert.
really quite horrifying. And it was obviously designed to elicit a response from everybody who politically opposes the Democrats. That is why they made a big deal.
Well, then you
about it.
played
Like,
right
the
into
Library
it
of
then,
Congress
didn't you,
was
Ben?
Fine, but her twerking with it in concert. And the next category, most underpaid person in American political life. Elsie Stecker.
Underpaid
Never heard of
person.
Elsie Stecker, have you? Joe Biden's sign language person. That is a rough job, because how exactly do you sign?
I always love the sign language people. They're totally
And also-
based.
The funniest part of Joe Biden's speeches is where there's a shot of Elsie Stecker in the bottom right-hand corner.
9.5 million turkeys. I tell
You
you,
know,
what.
I will give props to Ben Shapiro for pointing out I did not know her name. So that is awesome of you to point out a unsung hero in the White House. That's the best thing you did. You were doing it to dunk on Joe Biden, but hey, you did something good in the process.
The funniest part of Joe Biden's speeches is where there's a shot of Elsie Stecker in the bottom right-hand corner.
9.5 million turkeys. I tell you what, that's like some of the countries I've been to.
And she just looks bewildered. She's like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Just like,
Mobilize true international effort to pressure.
because no one knows. He's not speaking English anymore. The next category is
Biggest reach.
Biggest reach. Okay, so we have a lot of contenders this
The biggest reach right here is this is an entertaining segment.
year for biggest reach. Like, what was the most preposterous argument? But the winner today, Stacey Abrams, who actually said that ultrasounds are a conspiracy of the patriarchy.
There is no such thing as a heartbeat at 6 weeks. It is a manufactured sound designed to convince people that men have the right to take control of a woman's body.
Nope, not how science works.
That is you implying what you implied is a bigger reach than what? He didn't say what Ben said she said. In a category he's calling the biggest reach. This is
But the good news is that Stacey Abrams is still governor of Georgia, meaning she was never governor of Georgia. All right, next category, most nationally damaging fake news story. Well, there are a bunch on COVID, but we're going to have to
Is
go
the
with
Twitter
the changing
files?
definition of inflation.
Oh, I was surprised that wasn't the biggest reach earlier.
the Biden administration did an amazing job this year of pretending that inflation was not that bad.
Most of the price increases we've seen are expected to be temporary.
That's a transitory thing.
There's no reason to think that they're going to keep going up a lot.
The way they did this is they just kept setting the baseline at whatever last month was. So if the inflation baseline rose 0.1% from last month, this meant inflation was going amazing, even if year over year there was like an 8% inflation rate. The fact that they can play around with terms this way just demonstrates how the manipulation of language is a key tool in the Democratic arsenal. But yes, the definition of inflation changing, that is the most national.
Well, here's the thing.
Story of the year. And the next category, Lifetime Achievement in Hackery Award, goes to Whoopi Goldberg. This is overdue, really overdue. Whoopi Goldberg is maybe the biggest hack in American media. Her statements this year that everything is racism except for the Holocaust.
It's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man.
After all, the Jews are white people and the Nazis are white people, so this means it wasn't about race.
And I wanted to give Whoopi the benefit of the doubt on that one, and I thought she was making an argument that it wasn't just about race. They came after the disabled people. They came after homosexuals and trans people. Like, I thought she was making a very based point, and no, that was not the point she was making at all. When she went to Stephen Colbert and explained what she actually meant, I'm like, oh. No, she didn't mean that at all. That was totally cringe. Totally cringe.
Out some other form of intersectional victimization. We're on to the next category, which is Worst Influencer. Wow.
Brett Cooper.
Influencers this year. Bella Hadid is a terrible influencer. You got a bunch of Hollywood
I don't even know who that is.
Influencers, but the clear winner in this category, runaway winner in this category, Dylan Mulvaney.
I don't know who that is.
Says he is a lady. And then goes to the White House and does an entire sit-down with the President of the United States in which this dude cosplaying as a lady.
Oh, she is lovely.
So he is a lady and an advocate for female rights. This person got a contract from a tampon company, which raises a few very, very awkward questions, considering that Dylan Mulvaney actually does not have a place to.
Tampons are a good source of a good way to imbibe alcohol if you have restrictions on having it on your breath or something.
Put the tampon. Well, folks, each and every night I have to go through the worst of media.
Lunar Skeleton.
While doing
Good evening, my friend.
On Black Rifle Coffee Company. They're helping you knock out your holiday shopping this year with a ton of awesome new products. Most embarrassing moment.
The fact that I'm watching Ben Shapiro is the most embarrassing moment.
Was the close second place contender, where Joe Biden fell off a stationary bicycle. It wasn't like he was moving the bike and then the bike went over a bump or something. He literally stopped his bike and then he fell over. But the most embarrassing moment is when a now member of the Supreme Court, Ketanji Brown Jackson,
couldn't define a woman?
What a woman was and couldn't answer the question, even though she is apparently a historic woman. She said, "I'm not."
No, that's not what she said.
You provide a definition for the word woman.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in this context.
So
I'm not a biologist.
Which is not even the right answer according to trans advocates, because the answer is not supposed to be a biological one. It's time for this category.
No.
Well,
she is being asked in a legal sense, and she would need to defer to a biologist, because if a judge is making a ruling when it comes to somebody in terms of gender, it's going to be in relation to a bathroom law in a school or something. So they're going to defer to a biologist in a biological definition of what a woman is. So she's saying I can't just say it off the top of my head. I'm not sure what you mean, Ida.
This is a clear winner. I mean, there are a lot of bad shows this year. Really, a number of tremendously terrible shows. But the worst show of this year and of all time, Gutsy. It is literally Hillary and Chelsea Clinton rolling around the country talking with obnoxious people about political points.
Well, that does sound horrible.
Well, feeding themselves at the same time. It's pretty horrible. In case you didn't see it, I actually cut a video of myself watching Gutsy.
Good. Oh, I'm sure you did. It'd be great content. It'd be great content me watching it.
Just the worst thing that has ever happened. I mean, it's on a list of things that have happened in human history. It's like bubonic plague. Gutsy. The long-awaited Starving Polar Bear Award for Achievement in Climate Reporting. This was a really close race between morons who actually glued their heads to paintings and
throw in the soup.
Controversial win for formerly the artist known as Rainn Wilson. You remember him?
What? You're gonna go after Dwight? No. The winner of this award was by far James Cromwell, who glued his hand to a Starbucks counter over the fact that they charged more for non-dairy alternatives without thinking that, you know, it's more expensive to get a non-dairy alternative. Cromwell was the winner of this award. I don't even know what the fuck Rainn Wilson would have done. Come on, don't pick on Dwight.
Fruit and nothing else. Literally nothing else.
Attention! Employees of Dunder Mifflin!
Well, now, in order to demonstrate that he cares about climate change, he has officially changed his name to Rainfall Heatwave Rising Sea Levels Wilson, which does not even make any sense. What does falling rain have to do with heat wave and rising sea levels? Just a bunch of words in a row.
No, it's not just a bunch of words. It's words dealing with meteorological events. They all have something in common. It's not like they were just random words he was throwing out there. It is a damn long name, but I'm assuming it was a joke he made on Twitter or some shit. I don't even know. I hadn't heard this before.
To the flag.
But at least we can always appreciate when he was an uber crazy semi-conservative on The Office. And the next category, the Wizard of Word Salad. It is a wizardess.
Ben Shapiro.
The winner is Kamala Harris.
You're a wizard, Harry.
That lady, she loves a lot of things. She loves school buses.
Who doesn't love a yellow school bus?
Who doesn't?
There's something about and
She loves.
She is pretty cringe.
I love Venn diagrams. Those 3 circles. I asked my team to do a Venn diagram.
Oh, I love a good Venn diagram.
Everything she says is a predictive text mechanism. She starts a sentence, she doesn't know what the next word is going to be.
Sometimes I'll start a sentence.
I wish he was still in the
The
Senate.
good news is the algorithm.
He was good at questioning people.
Tons of sense what comes out next from her face, but it's still a sentence, sort of. The Late Night Loser Award for cringiest late night host. Oh, so many nominations. This is easily every year the hottest category.
Who's the cringiest late night host? What was her name? That was the YouTuber that got the show. Like she was in the old Carson Daily slot after late night. She's pretty fucking cringe, and it's just because like she's not a comedian. Like she was just a YouTuber, and like she didn't know how to do a fucking what's her name. She's the most cringe. By far. Lily Singh or something like that? Lily Singh. She's the most cringe late night host. Unless she got canceled before last year. Yeah. That was the year before last. Sorry, I gotta think of somebody else. Most cringe and late. Bill Maher. There we go.
Right. So here are the nominees: Jimmy Fallon,
Stop it.
Stephen Colbert, Trevor Noah.
Colbert can be cringe.
Mom, I never touched your face.
Jimmy Kimmel,
Black Lives Matter. Louder, Jimmy. Black Lives Matter. Louder, Jimmy.
So Fallon falls out of the running pretty early here because he's just not up to par. He's just not up to that competition. Trevor Noah is leaving his show and also is on a little watch show on Comedy Central. So it comes down to Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel. Stephen Colbert, just an agitprop activist on behalf of the Biden administration, and Jimmy Kimmel.
That was cringe.
Plus, preachy as all living hell.
I don't think the dancing with the vaccine thing, I don't think that was this year. I think that was last year.
We're going to go with Jimmy Kimmel.
What did Kimmel do?
At least Stephen Colbert never had the temerity to bring his wife on to lecture the audience about abortion.
I'm sounding the alarm, Jimmy. Abortion rights are gone
or in danger in 26 states.
How Jimmy Kimmel went from being the sports guy on K-Rock 106.7 in Los Angeles to being the woke pope of late night comedy is beyond me, but apparently that's
the woke pope.
The next category is worst trade deal.
That goes to Trump, hands down. Wait.
Traded dignity, like not racing against ladies, for social media clout, like beating the hell out of ladies because he's a dude. Or the U.S. government trading Brittany Griner for the Merchant of Death. I mean, the most obvious call here is Brittany Griner for the Merchant of Death, as Blaine Crane put it, the only WNBA trade that anyone has ever noticed. I'm going to go Brittany Griner for the Merchant of Death is the worst trade.
Okay, that's kind of a funny joke, but that also wasn't Ben Shapiro's. He got it off of Twitter. I'll give that props.
Like beating the hell out of
conservative comedy is usually not funny.
Trading Brittany Griner,
but that was kind of funny.
The most obvious call here is Brittany Griner for the Merchant of Death, as Blaine.
This is the only WNBA trade that has ever made headlines. That's a funny joke.
Crane put it, the only WNBA trade that anyone has ever noticed. I'm going to go Brittany Griner for the Merchant of Death is the worst trade deal. That was not a good trade deal.
The worst trade deal maybe ever signed anywhere.
And the next category, cringiest race pandering. Again, lots of nominees here.
It's always going to the right.
The winner this year, the greatest doctor of all time, Jill Biden, saying that Latinos are akin to breakfast tacos.
The diversity of this
that was really funny.
As unique as the breakfast tacos here in San Antonio.
And also, si se puede.
Si se puede. The future is ours.
We're on to the next category, which is most leftist tears. Close call. Roe versus Wade being overturned and Elon Musk buying Twitter. This just demonstrates how crazy the left is. The answer obviously should be Roe versus Wade being overturned.
They really are on this whole Elon thing, aren't they? Like, I don't understand why they think, like, okay, I guess there are blue checkmark, like, clout chaser liberal people on Twitter that have made their life off of getting retweets and shit. There are influencers on Twitter that have made a career out of it, but there's such a small minority that it's odd for Ben Shapiro to bring them up.
Right? I mean, that's like an actual major policy change in the United States that really invades their perception of what they think is a right to kill unborn babies. They were more upset about Elon Musk buying Twitter.
Elon Musk has sealed the deal to take over Twitter.
Looks like Twitter's gone. Elon Stalin is taking over, so f*** you, Twitter.
Elon Musk, I deactivated my Twitter account.
Which just shows you where their priorities are. Because none of them are actually obtaining abortions. They're upper-class white liberals. But many of them are on Twitter, and they're mad that Elon Musk bought Twitter. So that would be the most leftist tier.
The upper-class white liberals have abortions.
The very best of the absolute.
I'm sure they have abortions. Everybody has it. All, like, abortion is something that doesn't really know a class or a race in. An upper class white liberal might be more likely to be educated and may use other forms of birth control. I could see that. There's always lurking variables and things like that. I did not notice a trend with his awards. Ida hit me with it. I want to know what they all had in common. I mean, it was all clearly confined to, you know, the liberals, the Democrats, nominally left. I think I was fair as I was going through. And I even picked a liberal for the most cringe talk show. Haha, come on, Ben. I was bipartisan. Have you heard the freaking news? YouTube, Facebook, and all of big tech are trying to do a cancel culture on JustinFREAKIN.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
Help the channel stay alive and grow by subscribing or following, and be sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the fun, even when one platform tries to shut us up.
He's kicking authority in the balls.
If you have it to spare and really want to show support, consider subbing on Twitch, becoming a patron, or a member on YouTube. You'll get access to extra delights and debauchery, and you'll have my eternal appreciation. Thank you for being a freaking follower, and have a great freaking day.